Good morning, everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So if there's some background noise, we're having our first rain for the season, so bear with me. But anyway, so let's get cracking. Normally we start off with Euro USD, so as usual, we'll start there. And measured move targets were met, and exceeded in actual fact. And what I just want to do is just get to the weekly, because we have a couple of targets here. And I just want to put that one there, and then we have another one that we've just hit now, which is pretty much this previous swing high. So that swing high, then this area here is the next zone of attack. We are closing below this area as well, 116, 121, but that's the weekly, but we'll have to wait for the end of the week, so we'll have to wait for today's chart to print for that to happen. So I think the move at the moment is done. I don't think I want to be shorting right now. You can see it is trying to bounce or trying to form structure as such, so it's forming a wedge at the moment. So I'd expect a bit of a pullback onto structure. Thing to watch out for is going to be that break. So we break that trend line, then definitely looking at one of two areas. So the first area is going to be here, 115.911. And ultimately I'm actually looking at 116, 120. So that's kind of the view that I've got at the moment. So I want to see sort of a sizable pullback, some structure, and then a continuation to the downside. So still sitting on my hands there. So with the US dollar, Japanese yen, strong run up that we've had over the last 2 weeks, and we've basically sold off now, come back sort of on. I don't even think there's much structure there. You can see there. The structure is a little bit lower down, so that's somewhere in this area, and I'd actually just put it down to there. So that's the pullback we're looking for before a continuation. So you can see on the hourly we formed a shoulder ahead, and this turned out to be, it wasn't, we were looking at a channel here, but it wasn't. It actually turned out to be a double top target met, and quite a big sell-off yesterday. Oscillators group to downside. So watch this area that we're in as well. We could just bounce up for a shoulder, or alternatively just start forming a big range here. So but I'd ultimately be looking at this level here. 155 is here as well, and it's a round number at 111.05. So that's the area that I'd be watching here. If we do get back down to here, then I want to see some kind of a bounce back to the upside. Only problem is, if you look at this from a weekly perspective, you can see the weekly open is there. We've basically rallied and coming, so we're forming quite a big pin bar at the moment on the weekly, which is not conducive for a continuation at the moment. Anyway, moving on to the pound, and that is British pound, Japanese yen. So yesterday, a bit of confusion. We did get the bounce off structure, but past structure and then came down. Target is still not met. I'm still looking for 149.171. So if you see there is the structure was a bit messy. That was the area we're aiming for, and basically kind of just extended a bit onto the 155 EMA on the hourly before rejecting it and moving down. So and I don't even think London breakout would have been the right strategy here. So you would have been looking for a break to the downside anyway, because you're below the moving averages. So yeah, that is still on the go. I think what you actually need to do now, let me just use a level, is I would expect some kind of a pullback, and I think this is the area I'd be looking at, 149.930 or 150 in actual fact, because that'll be a nice round number. So we get some bearish price action of 150, then I'd expect a continuation down to 149.171, which is ultimately the bottom of this big range. Lastly, Euro British pound. So a big move up early in the week, big pullback. It does look like we're finding some structure on the moving averages, but like I said, this thing has been going sideways for so long. If you look at the weekly, look at this, most of the year it's been going sideways, and the question is this just yet another retest of the moving averages for a continuation of this previous move, or are we going to continue sideways? So I'm a little bit cautious on this one at the moment. If we can actually hold these moving averages, if you look at what's happened in the past, we get above it, and then we get below it again, and then we just stay below it. Then we get above it, and we go below it. So then we get above it for a bit, then we go below. Then we above, below, or we're going to stay above. If we're going to stay above the moving averages this week, it may sort of set something up for us for a move to the upside. But at the moment, not very pretty picture that. So you can see we've had a pretty big move yesterday, testing the 155 on the 1 hour. But watch where the oscillators are, they're heading back to the top. So a rejection here at 0.86119 is going to get us moving back to the downside. So if we can sort of hold this pattern that you see here, and this is barbed wire, look at all these tails to the upside, tails to the downside. So this is a bit of barbed wire. So yeah, I think I'll just sit in hands with this one. But if we can hold it, I'd expect another move to the upside. And if we can't hold it, there's also a trend line. So possible that we sort of move and then bounce off the trend line for a move down. Then I think you're probably going to find a move to the downside, probably to come and test the bottom of the channel again. So anyway, that's kind of the view I've got here. Probably the most shaky one is Euro, British Pound. But you know, the dollar is looking relatively interesting. It has had a strong move, so you need to wait for some kind of a pullback before you start looking to continue going with that trend. Hope it helps. Enjoy the weekend, and we will catch up with you bright and breezy Monday morning. Cheers for now.